got to. Let's go.
You're listening to the DSM Podcast Network powered by Learfield. Talking Drake Athletics, the 515 podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Hey, welcome into the 515 podcast on the Drake Sports Media Podcast Network. We are powered up by Learfield. All right, I'm your host, Michael Admire, and it is a bonus 515 podcast Relays Week. And who better to help us usher in the best week of the year than the voice of the Relays, lead announcer, Mike J. We're going to have him coming up in just a little bit. But first, we're going to hit the headlines. All right, we're going to really dive into all of the events this week with Mike J, but I wanted to spend some time here going through the schedule of the week, kind of set the tone for the conversation coming up. All right, Tuesday night, the 16th annual Grand Blue Mile takes to the streets of downtown Des Moines. First events beginning at 6 p.m. with the USATF 1 Mile Road Championships taking the gun at 7 p.m. And what a lineup we have tonight. Good friends and Iowa natives Shelby Houlihan and Carissa Schweitzer meet for the first time this week. That's going to be a blast. Rachel MacArthur, the defending champ, also in the field, and the American record of 4:27.97 is in jeopardy. All right, pay attention to that number. Men's side, defending champion, multiple-time winner of the GBM, Vincent Ciotti will toe the line. Former Iowa Prep, Gabe Sieperda, and Drake alum Isaac Baston is back in Des Moines. Will challenge for that championship tonight. All right, Wednesday night, the global debut of the World Shot Put Series. It's free to the public. Doors open at 5 p.m. All right, 5:30 to 6:30, got a shot put display. Then at 6:30, the show gets started with the three-time Olympic gold medalist and world record holder Ryan Krauser headlining the field. What a field it is, too. Last year's Drake Relays champ, Peyton Otterdahl, Nick Ponzio, Olympic bronze medalist Rajendra Gamble, Trip Pippery. It is a stacked field at the Drake Fieldhouse. Again, it's free to the public, so stop on by. It's going to be good energy, and you could be the first to see the World Shot Put Series. It debuts in Des Moines on Wednesday. All right, Thursday is the Distance Carnival. You know all about that, but world-class Thursday night throwdown also going down. Hammer and javelin for both the men and women. And it's again, stacked with Olympians. One of the best throws fields assembled on American turf in all of 2025. Friday, the best of the best from high school to the pros hit the blue oval. Any Iowa student from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade gets into the day session for free in the annual track and field trip. Then Friday night is family night. It's going to be a great day of competition, ending with fireworks. University Division this year is packed. We've got Oregon, Ohio State, Kentucky, Drake, Iowa State, and a ton more competing this weekend. We shift on to Saturday. It's going to be wild. Closing in on the 59th consecutive Saturday sellout. 1 mile stadium record is expected to be broken, and might be broken a couple of times. We'll see who is standing at the end with that record, and it could be done by maybe an Iowa native. Houlihan and Schweitzer also competing on the Blue Oval Saturday. The reigning women's gold medalist in the 100-meter hurdles, Masai Russell, headlines the hurdles competition. Got gold medalist couple, Hunter and Tara Woodhall, competing at Drake Stadium. Several World Athletics Continental Tour events. Talk about the Thursday night throws. That's all WACT events. And then the shot put crew, men's from indoor Wednesday night, they're sticking around for the weekend. They're going to compete inside Drake Stadium Saturday afternoon. So make sure you find your way to the neighborhood, be a part of the Drake Relays this week. You can get your tickets at drakerelays.org. It's time now to go one-on-one with Mike J. All right, Mike, appreciate you joining us here today on the 515 podcast. I want to get this started by giving everybody a little bit of background because we know your voice, but maybe don't know your path to becoming the voice of the Drake Relays. I know it's a long history that goes way back. Your love for the Drake Relays goes, back before you were even a broadcaster. So, yeah, how did you get to become the voice?
Well, it's just, it's so many, the same for so many times in life. It's being at the right place at the right time. This will be my 50th Drake Relays attending. 1975, a sophomore in high school, my coach asked me if I wanted to come along. And I'm not dodging your question, but I'm all excited because I was here when Francie LaRue set the mile record.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And
We'll talk about
two
that.
former Iowa preps taking a shot at it. So, well, I was, I don't know, 20 some years ago, I was announcing the Missouri Valley Conference meet at Northern Iowa. And Mark Kostick had just been hired as the Drake Relays director and was also the throws coach for Drake at the time. And we were just sitting around in a trailer after the meet, having a beer, shooting the breeze. And Mark said, and I had never even met Mark before. And he said, "How come you don't announce the Drake Relays?" And I said, "I've never been asked." He said, "Well, you've been asked." So 2003, 4, and 5, I worked with Tom Crochelle. Then 2006 on, I became the lead announcer. And absolute dream come true. This was something that I never thought I would have the opportunity to do. And it's led me to a lot of other things in life, So, I'm a track and field geek, and I'm a Drake Relays geek. And this just, as corny as it may sound, each year I just still can't believe that I'm coming to the Drake Relays and doing what I do.
Doing what you do here has, as you said, opened the doors for many other events. I mean, you've called track and field events all across the world. What are some of the top memories or top moments, top places that you've been to? But then, how special is it to be able to, continue to do this in your home state?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've announced over 30 U.S. championships and over 30 NCAA championships, and never dreamed that I would ever do one of those, let alone that many of each. And our state meet is just crazy. But I was just, because somebody asked me the same question a few weeks ago. So I've announced meets in 25 different states. Cool. And states I would never get to without track and field. I would never get on Stanford's campus or the Ivy League school's campus if it wasn't for track and field. And so it's, and now next year I'm going to become the lead announcer for the Texas Relays, and so, one of these days I'm going to slow down, but I don't know when. People ask me, my wife asked me, not that she thinks it's time, but just curious, because she's going to retire next year. And my answer is I would rather be doing this than not doing it. And track and field has allowed me to do a lot of things in life that I would never do without it. So I'm going to ride it as long as I can.
Well, there's nothing better than I live in Beaverdale, and just a couple blocks from Drake Stadium, and there's nothing better than opening up the door and the wind maybe blowing from the southeast, and you can hear Mike J's voice ringing through the Drake neighborhood and ringing through Beaverdale and Central Iowa here. It just signifies the beginning of the Drake Relays.
Oh, thank you.
And
but Mike, that's the same thing I thought when I came as a kid and listened to Jim Duncan, and to even be considered on that same playing field is amazing to me. I've got 8x10 colored pictures of Jim Duncan hanging in my track cave. And it's just, it's magical. This, what goes on in this stadium each year. is magical. From the high school kids, now the elementary and middle school kids are making memories of a lifetime, getting to be on the blue oval, which is a dream for most. I would have never gotten to Drake Stadium if my coach hadn't said, "Hey, you want to ride along?" I just came the first time because we didn't have to go to school on Friday, and now I can't get enough of it.
You've turned a way to get out of school into a career.
Yeah.
That's not how it's supposed to work, but
yeah, exactly. Because I would, not good enough to ever compete here, but fell in love with the sport at a young age. And the high school I went to at Columbus Junction, we always had good track teams. And I was on, but wasn't much of a contributor. I tell people I had to work my butt off to be mediocre, and but fell in love with the sport. I had great coaches that, convinced me early on that this was a great sport to be involved in, and it has, and I can't believe what has come to fruition.
Now we're here getting ready for the 115th Drake Relays. We're recording this right at the end of the 57th annual Drake Road Races, which was what a perfect day for long distance running. I mean, it was cool, but light wind, sun, cool enough to not get overheated or anything like that. I mean, that was it's such a fun way to kick off the Drake Relays, because you have just your average Joes finishing on that historic blue oval.
Yeah, and that's really special. Over 3,000 finishers today, and a very low percentage perhaps ever ran on the blue oval. So give them, now they've can say that they did that. It's sitting around playing cards with somebody or having a beer or picnic, and say, they're happen to talk about track and field, and some, I ran on the blue oval. And they're like, really? So it's a big deal. People in Iowa know that it's a big deal. They know the blue and it's kind of cool too that all people have to say is the relays, and they're talking about the Drake Relays, and and the blue oval is the same thing. They know exactly where it is and what it means, and how important it is to our state.
And we have a pretty cool badge of honor for people that do get a finish on the historic blue oval. Man, I want to spend a little bit of time. Appreciate you giving us a little background on how you became the voice of the relays, but I want to geek out a little bit about this week and what's upcoming, not only at the blue oval, but downtown, across the street, in the field house. Blake Bolden said earlier this week that this is the best collection of talent we've had at the Drake Relays in at least 7 years.
Yes.
Or at least going back to 2019, maybe even further. Yeah. Just kind of what are your thoughts and excitement of what's about to go down?
Yeah. Well, and Blake and I talk about this often. The landscape of collegiate track and field isn't the same today as it was 3 years ago. Definitely not the same as it was 10 years ago. So putting on an event like this is difficult, but there's a great mix of professionals, of D1, of D2, D3, NAIA, junior college, our high school kids. And we've got some of the very best in the world coming this year, So Tuesday, the Grand Blue Mile, which is a huge event for the casual runner, but it's also the USATF Championships, 9th year that it's been in Des Moines. And the top 2 men, top 2 women are automatically selected to represent America in the U.S. or the World Road Mile Championships in September. That's a big deal. So we have that on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, it's the World Shot Put Series in the Drake Fieldhouse, with an amazing field of 8 of the best throwers in the world, led by Ryan Krauser. This is kind of his baby. Krauser, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, world record holder indoors and out, 5-time Drake Relays champion, has a true love for the relays. And so this is an event, this World Shot Put Series, that, like I say, it's his baby. It's his dream. So invite everybody to come to the field house Wednesday and pack the place. It's going to be loud. It's going to be all-star wrestling throwing a 16-pound ball in the field house. So it's going to be great. Thursday, we start the day with combined events. The combined events happen. The decks start on Wednesday. They're also on Thursday for their second and final day. We have the Hall of Fame luncheon on Thursday. We have the distance carnival on Thursday. We also have the
Thursday night throwdown.
Thursday night throwdown,
the hammer throws,
the long throws.
Wow.
Some of the
field.
very best, not only in America, but in the world there.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got Masai Russell from Kentucky, the Olympic champion in the 100 hurdles, will be running on Saturday. We talked briefly early on about the mile. Francie LaRue set that record 50 years ago. And we've got an outstanding field going after that record, and hopefully led by two former Iowa preps and Shelby Houlihan and Krista Schweitzer, both Olympians. And they wouldn't like anything better than to break that record and have it go to an Iowan.
It'd be so cool. But that field is, it's very deep. I know both Shelby and Krissa, running in front of their home crowd, are going to have the extra power boost from that home crowd. But man, there's about anybody's race on that Saturday.
We may see, we may see 10 or 12 women go under what was the record. Yeah,
Blake Bolden was talking about that. He said there's a legitimate chance that every runner in the field could finish lower than what the previous record was. So let's with that kind of the mile talk, it's fun having the mile back in that sense. I mean,
it is
mostly running the 1500, but we get to see the mile, 4 laps around the blue oval, and
people that aren't track geeks know the mile. They know the 100, the long jump, and the mile. It seems like, and saying, if you tell somebody that doesn't follow track and field closely what your 1500 PR is, it doesn't mean, but you tell them what you're in the mile in, and they can relate to that somehow. So, and I think so much of it started in America anyway with Jim Ryan, who had a storied history on the Drake track as well. But the mile is still a big deal to everybody.
Did you said you were here 50 years ago and Francie LaRue Smith set the stadium record. Do you remember much from that day? Was that your first?
For my first one, sophomore in high school. I was just trying to soak it all up, and I had a Kodak 126 camera that you had to take the film and get developed. And I was running around with my program, getting autographs, taking pictures. I didn't know if I'd ever come back, if I'd ever get the chance to come back. And it was, I've got a picture of Francie in a scrapbook that I took with my little Kodak camera and wrote the date on it. And
do you still have that?
Absolutely.
Oh, we got to get a shot of that.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
Al Feuerbach was in the shot put from Preston, Iowa, world record holder and Olympian. We got pictures of Al Feuerbach. I've got, that was oh, wow. I never thought, I never know if I'd get back, so
Very neat. We talked to Francie LaRue Smith earlier this week, and she was trying to recollect, setting that stadium record. She's like, I really don't remember much of that day, and remembers a cool day, and that I just love to compete. And it was really fun hearing her talk about just how competitive she was, and maybe still is. But at the same time, her big message during the press conference was records are meant to be broken, and it's bound to be broken on Saturday.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. It just it boils down to me to be by how much and by how many.
And all right, so we talked about the mile on Saturday in the stadium, but it will all kick off on Tuesday downtown Des Moines. And really cool situation here with it being 4 years out from the Olympics. Training schedules change a little bit. Coaches are a little bit more lenient 4 years out. And that allows for Krissa Schweitzer and Shelby Houlihan to be able to run the road mile.
Yes.
And especially with Krissa, because she's, more of a 5K, 10K, where Shelby, is a 1,500 meter mile runner. I mean, you get Carissa and Shelby on Tuesday night and Saturday night. What should we expect Tuesday in the Grand Blue Mile?
Well, it's there's a lot at stake. The course record that Nikki Hiltz set a couple of years ago at 4:27, definitely in play. The American record at 4:25, the world record at 4:20.97. I anticipate it being very fast because the top two make the world team, and so I don't know. I definitely think two of those records are going to go down, maybe all three. And once again, to have an Iowan do it would be amazing. That's why people need to come out, to possibly see a world record, to see two people, two men, two women, make a world team. And this is as up close and personal as you'll get with those athletes. They can stand right along the finish line and be 10 feet away from some of the very best in America finish that mile. So it's a great atmosphere. Thousands of just regular Joes running the mile, because they know what the mile is.
Mm-hmm.
If it was the Grand Blue 1500, I don't know how many we would get, So it's a great atmosphere. It's a great race. It's so well organized and no stone unturned, and there'll be national coverage with runner space there, big paychecks for the top finishers. It's got all the bells and whistles, and no admission fee. So get your butt down to downtown Des Moines on Tuesday night and take an opportunity to see the very best.
Shelby Houlihan making her return to racing this year after a 4-year suspension. And what she has done since her return is qualify for indoor USA track and field championships, and then go into worlds in China and win silver in the 1500. She's in top shape. She said she went on a little vacation over the last couple of weeks. Came back and looks like she is ready to rock. I'm really excited for her and the opportunity that awaits next week in Des Moines.
Oh yeah.
What are your kind of thoughts on her coming back to Des Moines?
Well, it's
and the shape that she's in.
Yeah,
Obviously, what she did on the indoor side.
I called the U.S. indoor meet, so I got to call her in the 1500 and the 3000. And she was just rusty racing, she was, but she's ready. She's, I don't know. I've had people ask me, is she as good as she was before the suspension? I don't know, but she's pretty damn good. And, she won 8 high school titles here. She won 8 Drake Relays titles here. Carissa won a Drake title, a state title, and won a NCAA, or won a Drake Relays title as a collegiate here. So it's all the makings for something outstanding. But Shelby's wanting to prove something, and she's not in here to run just because it's the blue oval. Shelby Houlihan doesn't go to the line unless she thinks she can win, and she'll be a tough out, that's for sure.
On the men's side of the Grand Blue Mile, Vincent Ciotti returns. He's the reigning champion. Another really good field. Isaac Baston,
Yes.
Drake Prep, or Drake grad is back in Des Moines. He's going to be running a couple times next week as well. What are your thoughts on the men's side of the Grand Blue Mile?
Well, you mentioned 2 of them, and also Gabe Sieperda, who Iowa Prep from George Little Rock Central Lion and All-American steeplechaser at Iowa State. He'll be a player in there. The road mile is different than the track mile because you don't have 4 laps where you can judge and gauge where you're at. So some acclimate themselves to it early on, and some don't. Ciotti always seems to run well in a road mile, and Baston, he'll be a front runner. He'll be right up there until he can't,
Yeah.
And I look for Sieperda to have a good race, but it's another very talented field. Maybe a little less overall experience than on the women's side. But if we could get a former Iowa Prep to win the women's side, and then a Drake grad to win on the men's side, or an Iowa Prep with Sieperda, it'd be a pretty darn good Tuesday night.
Sign me up. I'm also really excited. And there's a lot of buzz around the Drake Relays staff about what's about to happen Wednesday night. We got a really cool opportunity to go to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and visit with Ryan Krauser about the brainchild of the World Shot Put Series and the global debut Wednesday night, free at the Field House. That is such a cool concept. It's much like how he explains it and how I've translated it to other people is it's a lot like the high jump. You get 2 attempts at a certain height. If you pass the line, if you throw past the line, you get to keep going, and it's last person standing. So that's going to be cool to see how. I think it's a really good idea.
Oh, it's going to be.
I think it's going to work.
Well, it's thinking outside of the box. You know, I wonder what do the track and field purists think about it, but you know, there's not a world championship on the line, or at least at this point. It could end something like that, you know. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's the crowd can really get involved and follow it close, and I'll be surprised if it isn't a huge hit.
Yeah, I'm excited to get a bunch of people in there and get that place loud on Wednesday night. Kind of moving on to some of the other big names coming this weekend. You mentioned Masai Russell, such a talent. Hunter Woodall, Tara Woodall Davis, they're going to be in Drake Stadium. Casey Lightfoot is competing.
The American record holder is going to come and pole vault with the University College division because he loves the relays.
Yeah, he said, I just want to be there.
Yeah.
He's from Kansas City and he's going to make the short trip up. But
but I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. If people want at that level want to come just because it's the Drake relays, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's
and
fantastic.
Tara Davis, she will play up the crowd. The crowd will absolutely love her, the Olympic champion in the long jump. And like you mentioned, her husband, Hunter, a Paralympic champion in the 400. Crowd favorites. Masai Russell will light it up in the hurdles. I'm not really a good one to ask these questions because I've never been to a bad Drake relays, but it's just exciting each and every year. And can't thank Blake and the Drake Relays Committee enough for what they do to continue this 115 years, you know, and just make memories every year. And this is going to be one of the best in a long time. Definitely the best post-COVID. And people need to get out here and see it. If you've not been to the Drake Relays, I don't know what your holdup is, but this is a year to be there.
I think we've kind of touched on all of the major events. Is there anything else you have your eye on? I did want to kind of just touch on the high school athletes a little bit. Any high school athletes that are going to be coming through Drake Stadium next week that have caught your eye over the last couple months?
Well, it's just the distance events in Iowa on the men's side right now are just unbelievable. Thursday night, we could have 4 or 5 guys under 9 minutes in the 3,200, you know, and we went years before we had a second one after Jim Eichen did it in 1975. Quentin Alexander of Cedar Rapids Prairie just set a new all-time best in the high hurdles. The shuttle hurdle relay for the guys is off the charts right now. The girls shuttle hurdle relay, always loaded. I'm curious to see on the boys 1600 medley. Excuse me. Iowa City West has won it each of the last 2 years with Mustafa Tia on the anchor, and he just ran 150.40 in the 800. His fastest ever, the 4th fastest ever by an Iowa prep. So, you know, they want to win a 3rd in a row. Is, you know, are we going to get a sub 150 split on that to do it? I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Will we get a sub 150 in the open 8? Because it could be Tia, who's in 4A, and Quentin Nauman from that's in 3A. So Caleb Tenpass, who's 3A. I don't even know where to start. It's going to be awesome. It's just going to be Cedar Rapids Kennedy went under 42 in the 4x1. Waukee Northwest girls are loaded. Waukee's always good as well. ADM for a 3A school has got one of the top shuttle hurdle relay teams in the state. Dowling is the defending champion. Charlie Morton, Hampton Dumont is back to defend her shot put and discus titles. Abby Mecklenburg of Linmar became the first Iowa girl to go over 20 feet. She did it twice in a meet last week and did it again last night. I've never had an Iowa girl long jump 20 feet. So I could go on and on and on. Our Iowa high school kids are talented, and the Drake Relays is quote unquote the true state championship because there's no classes.
Yeah, it's going to be special next week, and we will all get to kind of live it through your voice next week on the Blue Oval. So, Mike, I really appreciate your time. I know you got to get back to Iowa City, then we'll get you back here early next week.
Can't wait to get back. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, appreciate it.